Hey guys, Keegan back, and Dad's going to give you a little intro on this.
Part 2, 2009 Polaris RZR 170, where the hoses and stuff goes. The first video ended on this 3-port contraption here behind the airbox. I was showing you that the bottom one, the lowest one, goes straight over into the side of the metal valve. The front of the metal valve, right there, it drops straight down and goes into the crankcase vent right there. That brass nipple is supposed to have nothing. Well, it may have had a factory hose on it, okay, because it does get clogged up with dirt. I'll add one to his. It's probably got yanked off, and you can just zip tie it anywhere, run it behind like we did that other one in the first video I showed you. Just kind of slide it up between there. It's just drawing air for the diaphragm in there to work. That was all of your hoses, except for you've got one over here on the gearbox right there. See it on top of your gearbox? That's just a vent. That one comes where do we got that one run? It just comes straight up. Oh, I brought it way up high. I added a piece of hose to it, slid it through that bracket for the plastics. That's pretty much all your vacuum hoses. That one on the bottom of the air box, that's a drain plug for if you get water in the air box. I keep mine closed. I ain't sucking up mud and dirt up in there at the filter. People say leave that out. Well, y'all leave y'all's out. I ain't. Oh yeah, here's another one. That is that little screw right there, flathead. It drains the bowl on your carb if you think you got water in it or whatever the case. You got a little nipple sticks down. We added one, and just cause right there, if you open it, it drips down on the engine and stinks, and it's a fire hazard. So we just routed it down, and it comes out down there below the machine. Something else worth knowing on these, some other cool facts. Spark plug. There's a million different people tell you a million different things. Here's the one that runs the best. I've tried them all. This plug comes pre-gap. Do not mess with the gap. It's fine. Where are they all at, Keegan? I just had a handful of them. Right here. And there's two actually. These are NGKs. That's a CR6 HSA. CR6 HSA. Now you can run a C6 HSA. All the R means is a resistor. That is somewhere like if you were in the city and had all these radios and frequencies through the air, it can mess with a spark plug, believe it or not. It makes no difference unless you live in New York City and ride this thing down the strip as to the effect of the machine. So the R or not the R don't matter. Be sure that if somebody's changed the coil, the plug wire on your machine, you know, the factory one, these plugs come with a tit on it that you have to unscrew, because the factory thing just kind of snaps down. You'll feel it click, click, click onto that, the threaded part. We've had to replace that one where it's just wore out. I bought the NGK, and it comes with it's the whole little coil. That's your coil. You get the whole piece there. So with that one, we had to screw the tit back on here, because the cap is the big one, not the small one. You want to know how to get that spark plug out. It's a pain in the butt. You'll burn your hand on that right there. So you pull your wire off, take your socket with nothing attached and slide it on the plug. Then you take your wrench in there, press the button in, and if you hold it at about that angle right here, you know, kind of pointing right in there, you may have to turn your end on it and get it lined up, mash it, and you'll get it on there enough to break it loose. And then I take my wrench back off and leave just the socket, and by hand unscrew it. These plugs come pre-gap, like I said. You ain't got to mess with the gap. If you in a situation your plug's fouled, these are all what a foul plug looks like on this machine. The porcelain in there is supposed to be white. Well, these are black. When that white porcelain, his camera's dirty or something. When that white porcelain becomes black, it's fouled. If you'll lay these on a table and take a blowtorch or a little MAP gas propane torch, try not to hit it right on the metal tit. Try to get it up in there on the white porcelain. And after probably 2, 3, 4 minutes, you'll see it starting to turn white again. When that's white, your plug's unfouled, basically. But you got to heat it up enough to get that porcelain back white. Some other cool stuff. Let's see. We showed you the airbox mod. Oh, this little dude here, it's important. A lot of people's missing or they get lost. That has air blowing out of it, and it blows right on your air fuel plate here. Behind, there's the little set screw for your ratio mixture. That is important. That blows on that for a reason, so make sure it's on there. What's something else real quick? Do not overfill oil in this machine. Number one reason for running like crap is if it's that much above the line, it'll shut you down. The brake. You know how you got to stand on the brake to get this thing to crank? That's just bull crap. It feels like you're going to bust a caliper or something. If you will take your factory spring, that little thing right there is what cuts the safety feature and runs your brake light. Just take your spring and stretch it in a fashion that it puts more tension on it. It's not actually, that one applies the brake, see. All that is the stoplight and the safety feature. That one's your brakes. You're not dragging the brakes by putting pressure on that. I've got his, so see, you ain't got a master brake. Brake light may stay on, but who cares? I don't like standing on the brake. And you see how this thing fires up with everything we showing you. Yours will too. That's how they're supposed to do, not just choking and all that crap. What else?